the person you've been dating is questioning everything, do you stick around and figure it out or do you walk away? I'm so excited to get into today's dating dilemma. I'm Talia. Welcome back to Dating Intentionally. I'm loving this series where I answer more of your questions here on YouTube, not just on the podcast, which, by the way, you can get on any podcast platform. If you have a dating dilemma you want some clarity on, you can submit it in the form linked below in the description. Let's get right into it. I, 29 female, have been dating my girlfriend, 32 female, for 4 months. Slow burn, great communication, talk things through, no arguing, consistent, etc. We spent more time together in December and got closer. At the end of December, she met my parents and everything was going great. Then, almost overnight for her, she started to panic about how close we were getting. She had fears of losing her independence and fears of long term commitment. She started to pull away and distance herself. I pushed her to talk about this with me because I knew something was wrong with the distancing, but she did not want to share originally. Now she's not sure she wants to be in this. She says she needs to decide. More background: I'm anxious, she's avoidant. We discussed this very early on in dating because my last ex was avoidant and pulled away after a few months. I didn't want to repeat. She told me she was working on her avoidant tendencies and wanted to be different in our early conversations. Now she's going to start therapy this week at my request. Do I give her a chance or some time to figure things out, or should I move on? I care about her so much and I know she cares about me too, but I also don't want to abandon myself like I did in my last relationship. All right, so let me know in the comments what you would do in this situation. To recap, this person, you've been dating for 4 months, she's avoidant, you're anxious, everything was great until she met your parents, and now she's backing off and questioning the relationship. You're not sure if you should stay because you've dated avoidantly attached folks in the past and it didn't work out. And if you're watching this, I'd love to hear if you've been in this situation, which side have you been on? Let's help this person out. So, bottom line, my take here is that you should not abandon this relationship just yet, especially since she's going to therapy and she is doing her best to communicate with you, even though it's probably not enough for you. She is doing her best, and it's great that she at least can tell you what's going on. She can tell you she is questioning things. It's obviously not great to hear. No one wants to hear that. But the fact that she is speaking up about her fears is a good sign. Like, you can't work on a relationship issue if the other person isn't talking about it at all. So the fact that she's going to therapy and she's able to at least tell you what's going on are two really big green flags that I notice here. So I know this is really tough to stomach, to like wrap your head around when you are anxiously attached dating someone who's avoidantly attached, but pushing the avoidant attacher to talk more is never the answer. And it's like, what you have to do is going to feel counterintuitive. You need to give them space. You need to be like, hey, you are safe to take the time and space you need to process this and figure it out, because maybe you're the kind of person who figures things out externally. You're talking, you talk through it, you hear yourself talk, you have like a sounding board, and that's how you figure things out. People who are avoidant figure things out internally. It's all inside. So you need to allow her to have that time to process, which I know is really hard for you because you're over here wondering what the hell is going on. And like you pointed out, your needs are a priority as well. And my advice for you is to be very clear about what you need, even though it's scary. You can say to her, look, I want to give this a fair shot and we are a team. I can respect your needs for space and to take things at a slightly slower pace as you navigate therapy and your emotions. But I need to feel secure too. And what helps me feel secure is knowing that we'll have time together every week so we can accommodate my need to spend quality time together and your need for alone time. You can acknowledge both, right? Show her that you are looking for balance. You're not trying to take up every second of her free time, which is like what avoidant attachers are trying to protect, like their independence. So you need to say like, hey, I want you to have your independence and I want to have a relationship with you. Let's figure this out. Let's find what works for us. You need to really show her that you're not trying to eliminate her independence, because that's what she's scared of losing. If you're open to it, I think implementing check-ins, like regular relationship check-ins, would be really helpful here. Like, especially because you are at a point where you're questioning the relationship and now she is in therapy. She's trying to take a different route here than she has in the past, it sounds like. So you need to have these check-ins to see if it's working or not. Like, you can't like have one person be like, hey, I'm gonna try and make these changes and then never follow up. Like, you need to like be like, hey, like, here's how it's going since we had that conversation about what we're gonna change. You need to have these check-ins. So I think introducing the check-ins could work really well if you want to stick it out. Look, I honestly wish this is how I handled it with my avoidant ex-boyfriend. Like, it's so hard to not freak out when an avoidant pulls back and creates distance, which they're literally doing because they feel threatened on some level. they don't feel safe, it's not really about you. It's not, don't take it personally. They'd act this way no matter who they're dating. I also wish I was clear about my needs. Like, hey, okay, I get you need your space. I love that you enjoy your own company. And for us to maintain our great connection, I would love to see you twice a week, right? So, all in all, I think this could be a promising situation, especially since she's in therapy. Again, that's a really good sign. And that's why I'm encouraging you to stick with it a little longer because therapy doesn't work overnight. And of course, if you decide it's not worth the stress and anxiety that it's causing you, that's fair too. Definitely consider how much anxiety you are willing to tolerate moving forward. I'm not saying you just stick it out for a year, but I think it's like, okay, what do the next 3 months look like with her when she's in therapy and you are actively talking about these issues, are now out in the open, and you can work through them as a team. So let me know what you think in the comments. I'd love to hear your experience with this. If you've, again, been on the side of the person questioning the relationship, or you've been with someone who's questioned it, did it work out? What happened? Let us know in the comments. And of course, OP, if you're listening to this, I'd love to hear what you think of this advice and what actually happens in reality. Like, give us the update if you're watching this. If you found this video helpful, give it a thumbs up and make sure to subscribe for more dating advice every week. And of course, don't miss the Dating Intentionally podcast for deeper dives into topics like this. It's available on all major platforms. Once again, I'm Talia, and I'll see you next time.